Oh, welcome everyone to our Tuesday evening call. This is an introduction to a very special company called Lifewave. We're going to give a short history, a little bit about the technology and the founder. And I am co-hosting with my partner, Gregory Mascari, and we have a special guest tonight, Dr. Jeffrey Hubbard, and we will bring him on, ask him some questions, and then it's your turn. So you can share your stories, you can ask questions. Please do use the Q&A, and please remember, symptoms only. Let's get started. Okay, turning things over to you, my dear. Gregory, you're on.
All righty. Well, thank you, Robin. Good evening, everyone. As I've said it for a few times now, it's nice to be back at home after 5 weeks in Thailand, and that was wonderful. And very excited to be able to share with you just a brief overview of our wonderful company, founder, and amazing technology. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get this show on the road. And so we're going to talk about activating your stem cells tonight. And I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older. Younger. Can anybody relate to that? I bet you can. And so before we get started, I'd like to ask you a personal question. If anything were possible, if you could take out your magic wand and wave it, and what is one thing you would choose to experience differently in your health? And what difference would that make for you? And maybe there's another twist. Maybe it's what's one thing you would choose to experience differently in the health of someone you love and care for? And what difference would that make for them? Well, with that being said, I want to make, just a disclaimer. Our products are not designed or intended to heal, treat, or diagnose any disease. They do, however, help our bodies to get back into a more healthy, regenerative mode. And many times, wonderful things begin to happen. So welcome to the stem cell revolution, because we feel everyone wants to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And we found that stem cells are the key because they're a vital part of our immune system that repairs and regenerates all the damaged cells in all of our organs, glands, muscles, skin, bones, throughout our entire body. Here's the problem. The older we get, the less stem cells we have. And by age 60, only a small percentage remain active. And the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. Now, what if we told you we could help you put the brakes on the aging process? Would that interest you? Well, what about stem cell injections? They become quite popular, but they're also quite expensive. They can be painful, risky, controversial. And there's no guaranteed results. You could spend thousands, tens of thousands, and some people are spending hundreds of thousands on stem cell injections. Well, here's the good news. You can look, feel, perform, and live younger with a historic breakthrough in stem cell activation. It's a new wearable technology in patch form. It's affordable, safe, non-invasive, it's drug-free, and it's a patented form of phototherapy that uses very specific frequencies of light to increase and improve stem cell activity. This is the brainchild of David Schmidt, our visionary founder and CEO. And David is not only a brilliant scientist and researcher, he's also a genius inventor with over 100 patents and patent pendings. And he's been on the leading edge of phototherapy research and science for over 20 years. Now, David's already conducted over 90 clinical studies proving the efficacy of Lifewave phototherapy technologies, and many more are in the works. So briefly, Lifewave is a 17-year-old advanced technology company focused in the field of health sciences. It was founded back in 2004 based on an energy-enhancing technology that David developed for Navy SEALs to increase their strength, stamina, and performance without the use of drugs, stimulants, or caffeine. And this particular development was so effective, it's now used by world-class athletes around the world in almost every sport. We have corporate headquarters, laboratory, and manufacturing in California, Utah, and Ireland. And we have global distribution over 75 countries from 15 global distribution centers. The 15th one just opened last month in Thailand. Now, the word certainly is getting out, and Lifewave patches are now being used by pro and amateur athletes around the world in almost every sport. The media has begun to notice And you might too, if you look carefully at some of your favorite athletes and you see this little suspicious white patch at different places on their body, and that is Lifewave, okay? And so how does this amazing technology work? Well, it's based on a type of light therapy called photobiomodulation. And what that means is Lifewave patches contain very specific combinations of organic materials and nanocrystals. And when they are applied or just near the body, they're activated by our body heat, and then they begin to re-emit very specific wavelengths of light, which stimulates targeted and beneficial biochemical responses in our body. This is known as photobiomodulation, and it's the basis for Lifewave phototherapy patches. Now, it's been a well-recognized and proven scientific principle that specific frequencies of light can cause very specific changes within our body. For example, when we go out in the sun, a specific frequency of light causes our body to make vitamin D. We don't get a vitamin D download from the sun, but we do get a specific light frequency stimulation that triggers our body to manufacture vitamin D. And the same goes for another frequency of light that causes our body to make melanin, the chemical that gives us a suntan. Well, I'm happy to tell you Lifewave's patented technology is based on the same rock solid, well-researched and proven scientific principle. And our focus for the last 14 years has been in the field of anti-aging and regenerative science. And just 3 years ago, we released to the global market the Lifewave X39 stem cell activation patch, which truly is a historic and affordable breakthrough in stem cell activation technologies. Some are calling it the holy grail of anti-aging and restorative science because we are doing what the multi-billion-dollar companies in big pharma have not been able to do, and that is X39 activates a very specific copper peptide that activates our body's own stem cells while also altering gene expression towards a younger and more vibrant you. So X39 certainly is a game changer. It's a true breakthrough. And our founder and inventor, CEO, David Schmidt says, my greatest achievement yet, with an emphasis on yet, because David spends more time in the laboratory than in the office, and the best may be yet to come. So yes, we have patents. Yes, we have clinical studies. And yes, we have tremendous field results proving X39 is actually helping people to turn back their biological clock, helping them to look, feel, perform, and live younger. And I don't know about you, but for me, a baby boomer, this is very, very exciting. So that's my part of the presentation tonight. So Robin, I'm going to turn it back over to you and to introduce our special guest doctor.
Thank you, Gregory. As always, that was a wonderful presentation. And it is a very special company with amazing technology. And what I love to say is we get to wake up every day and hear miracle stories. It's a wonderful way to live. And for those of you that are brand new, you're in for a real treat because we get to bring on Dr. Jeffrey Hubbard today. He is an MD. And Gregory, I hadn't found him so I'm going to let you find him, okay?
Yeah, I'm promoting him out right now.
Okay, great. Perfect. So Dr. Jeffrey Hubbard is in Texas, and he is an MD, and he has a passion for support. There he is. I'm just introducing you for really supporting people, integrating, truly the best of allopathic and Western medicine with all the natural remedies and things. He's an educator. He loves supporting people in prevention. And he is a CEO and founder of Comedicare. And he's doing some great work in this country and in other parts of the world, serving underserved populations. And he is truly a gift to our Lifewave community. So welcome, Dr. Jeff.
Hi there. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
It is Tuesday, isn't it? And I guess X39 is working because every time I see you, it's getting longer.
Getting longer, yeah.
Oh, your hair's up above too.
It's coming along.
For those of you that want hair growth,
Yeah.
we've got something for you, don't we? Okay. Well, let's jump in, Dr. Jeff. You're an MD, and I imagine you get introduced to all kinds of things from your friends, from your patients, from your clients, because you also do speaking and educating. What is it about Lifewave that caught your attention?
Really, look, Robin, the true essence of what got me excited was the research. So I'm a big proponent for biomedical research. I have a master's in physiology, and so I am uh, really connected to research articles and things like that that are peer reviewed and presented and publicated in a way that really speaks to the true essence and science of what's going on. And so I was really impressed. Most companies have zero in the realm of research, especially research conducted in-house. And so that was really impressive. I was really excited to see that. That's really what motivated me to say, oh, this is something that I can get behind. And so shortly thereafter, I ordered my patches, and then, I started to have my own personal experiences with the technology. And I don't know if I told you this, but the key that did it was I had the opportunity to patch one of my business partners resident at his assisted living facility. He had a ulcer on his ankle that was really stubborn and did not want to heal. And so from that Friday evening when we patched him to Sunday night when I drove back to Dallas, it had shrunk significantly and started to scab. And that everybody was blown away. So that was when I was like, wow, this thing is real and there could really be some benefit to it.
Okay, so we have the science because as a professional, that's your reputation's on the line. So you've got the backup with the science, and then it works. And we do invite people to research that copper peptide GHK-Cu, and I'll put it in the chat for you because that's the magic behind this patch that accelerates wound healing. I mean, I've heard amazing stories. I've actually am one of those stories. After my knee replacement, the doctor was kind of in awe at how fast it got better. So, all right, well, who's this product for and who isn't it for?
I really, quite honestly, I believe it's for everyone, unless you are a part of, the extenuating circumstances that we have to discuss in regards to the patch. But specifically, X39 is just such a revolutionary way about raising healthy molecules in the body and stimulating the body to be in a healthy and wellness position. So just really, really pleased at the opportunity to really have this tool in my tool bag. Especially for our seniors in the Lifewave community, it's just a dynamite product.
So we've got something that's safe, that's natural, that's affordable, and nothing goes in the body, does it?
At all. There's no chemicals, there's no drugs, there's nothing. And that's another key that I really found to be awesome in doing my due diligence was that, many of the supplements and products and things that you run into, you have to do all of this fact checking to make sure that you don't give somebody something and then it interacts with one of their pharmaceutical medications or something like that. And then it's like, I'm on the hook because I told you this product was good for you. So you have to be, pretty diligent and careful when you're introducing things. But that's the beauty of Lifewave, because it's a light-induced therapy. There really is no issue with it. It's like going out in the sun and hanging out at the beach. So it's really, really dynamic in the way that it's designed.
Love that. No contraindications, safe for everybody. We just, recommend people that have had an organ transplant don't want to enhance their immune system, but it is safe. And it's so nice to know it doesn't counteract with any medications. So if someone is just getting started, what are the ideal conditions for them to get the maximum benefit of this product?
Consistency. So that's really one of the huge things that I really promote, and just to stick with it. A lot of people quit, prematurely. They say, oh, this is not for me, or this is some snake oil placebo stuff, or it just doesn't work, or whatever the case may be. Guys, I'm 2+ years in and I'm still experiencing the benefits of the patches and things like that. I was in Walmart today trying to grab some groceries and things, and they have now you can use those blood pressure machines again. They had cut them off for COVID. But so I'm like, oh, let me check my blood pressure and see what's going on. 123/76. And I'll tell you, I had some times where it wasn't that good. And so I'm running around Walmart and driving through traffic. And so I expected it to be a little elevated, but that was not the case. And I can really only, attribute that to the patches. But in addition to that, staying well hydrated, so in general, we say about, 2/3 of your body weight in ounces. So, you can type your current weight into a calculator and multiply it by 0.66. And that's how many ounces you should be consuming. Slight caveat, if you consume alcoholic beverages, tea, coffee, soft drinks, anything that's a diuretic and is going to make you urinate more frequently throughout the day, then you might need to consume a little bit more than that calculation. And then we talk a lot about minerals and how those minerals are going to help ensure that your body's functioning on a great level. Key ones: magnesium, calcium, not copper, and zinc. Calcium's good too, but we really highlight magnesium, copper, and zinc.
So it's really, really simple. 12 hours on, 12 hours off, consistency, hydration, and make sure you're well supplemented with minerals. And that's it. It's just peel and stick, right?
That's it. That's the beauty of it. It's so simplistically profound.
We get much better compliance with this than lots of other products. And the hardest thing to remember is to put it on and take it off. So a lot of times people actually set their alarms on their phones just to remember, okay, I'm going to do 7 and 7, 8 and 8, 9 and 9. And it's okay, isn't it, if someone leaves it on a little bit longer?
Sure. I mean, the key concept is that you want to create this sort of relationship with your body where it's understanding what you're going to do. And that's really a life principle. The more you do something at certain times, the more your body gets accustomed and adjusted. So if you can do that on a schedule, it's great. But if you forget, it's not the end of the world. Just go and take it off and try to give yourself ample amount of rest. And Robin, I had an epiphany about this the other day.
Please share.
Through this light dark cycle as people, right? Our planet is circling around the sun. And so, half the day is in light and half the day is in darkness. And I was like, wait a minute, that's what we're accustomed with light therapy. The conditional light therapy that we've been experiencing since birth is we have this light dark cycle. This is basically the same thing when you're applying light therapy. You need a light and a dark cycle. So you need time on and you need time off. And so that's, I think, a really good way to look at it and to understand that, your body needs ample amount of light, and then it needs the opposite, to be able to function properly.
Beautiful. I'm going to remember that one. That's a Dr. Jeffism. I love it. And so for someone who's new, and we love having, this is a great call for as an introduction to new people. So if you are brand new, what can people expect as far as when would they notice something, anything?
Well, I'll tell you, for me, my experience was fairly quick. So I put the patch on the first day, kind of felt something, but I was really looking to feel something. The next day was when I really noticed it. I woke up very refreshed. I had a great night's sleep. I had a really healthy bowel function, had a great bowel movement, and I just felt energetic and motivated the next day. It was weird. I kind of felt like I had like a force field around me. I just kind of had like this energy. And so as time progressed, I noticed that my dexterity and my proprioception, kind of like the your limbs and noticing where they are in space, and grabbing things and picking things up, and your grip strength, that was what I noticed. And then my workouts got better. I noticed that I had a little bit more agility and flexibility and things like that. So it was just an increase in kind of my normal day-to-day experiences. It wasn't until months into, consistently wearing the patches that I started to notice like my joint improvement. I've got a bum shoulder from baseball. And so that was tough. It was difficult for me to watch my back sometimes. It was difficult for me to sleep in certain positions. I definitely notice a difference when I'm lifting weights. This arm sometimes is a struggle, have to stretch it more diligently. And so I'm doing this kind of shoulder press, and all of a sudden I realize, wow, this right arm is working better than it had been in the past. And so I really recognized that there was some improvement in the soft tissue and ligaments and things that I had, damaged over time, playing ball and different things. So that was my personal experience. But also professionally, like I said, the wound healing was really profound. I noticed that right off the bat. And also circulation improvement. And so, cardiovascular health is something that is dramatically improved with X39 over the course of a couple of 3 months. You can, look to notice the blood pressure stabilizing, circulation stabilizing, and those things are very important when, cardiovascular disease is one of the highest reasons why we transition to the next level here in the United States. So that's something that I recommend anybody that I work with who's got some issues circulatory wise. I'm always like, X39 is your best friend.
I love it. So what I'm hearing you say is, some people can notice things quickly, but it may take some time. And the good news is it's cumulative. It just gets better and better and better. And
Indeed.
you and I get to get younger together. Isn't that great?
It's beautiful.
Maybe I'll catch up with you. And my clock's turning back. That's wonderful for people to know. And that's what Dr. Jeff just said, I think is really, really important, is to pay attention, notice. And we do have a health tracker. And if you don't have one, it's in your app, or ask the person who invited you to the call to send you one, because there's things to pay attention to that you might not think about, like, wow, I didn't think my eyesight would get better, or, my sleep, or my, who knows? There's so many things. And over time, it just gets better and better. And, a lot of people know my special finger that was stuck in this position for 20 years. And then, oh my goodness, it was crazy. I mean, it was an accident where it got jammed into my hand. My entire body weight fell in my pinky finger, and I pulled it out, but didn't have it x-rayed, and it was broken, but I waited too long, and so it was stuck like this. And it doesn't look very nice wearing rings with the finger sticking out like that. And so now I can hold my hand. So it's the little things. And then take a picture of your face in really good lighting, and take a picture if you have any scars. Some remodeling will be happening. And I happen to have 3 very long scars on my body. And they're all so much lighter and thinner. It's amazing. Isn't that fun to watch?
It is, so much so.
Yeah.
And it's really cool seeing it in other people and your loved ones and your circle of influence as well. People have this like aha moment when they realize that it's working. It's like, oh my God, these patches are amazing. It's like, I told you.
It's like, could this really be? I know it's just the most fun I've ever had, because people are constantly in delight. And to know that things can get better and better, no matter what age you are, no matter what condition you are. So are you ready for some questions?
Let's do it.
Okay, before we do that, I want to write in the chat, because I know a lot of people want to reach out to you for a consult. So do you want me to write it, or do you want to write it in the chat? And then we'll talk about it a little bit at the end too.
I'll type it in.
Okay, great. So yes, all of our practitioners, almost all of them, they do private consults. And a lot of times things are, I am not a doctor. So if someone comes to me with, questions that are over my head, and I'm very, very good at saying, let me get you Dr. Jeff's number, because it's not our job to play doctor. We are not healthcare practitioners, unless of course you are, and that's a whole different story. But we have wonderful practitioners to consult with, and we do have a bunch of questions in the Q&A. And thank you everyone for using the Q&A. Timothy and Helen are wondering, will X39 improve hearing loss?
Yes, there has been some experience that I've had personally with a few people who have had ringing in the ear, challenges with inner ear problems and balance, and also hearing. So we suggest that you patch right there on the behind the ear. That portion of the skull is called the mastoid process. So if you put it right on that bony process right behind the ear, that seems to be what does the trick in helping to stimulate that eighth cranial nerve.
I love it. The eighth cranial nerve. I love it. Does it matter right side or left side?
So you can do it by on both sides if the hearing loss is, kind of bilaterally, or if there's one side that's worse than the other, you can, just determine which side is better to patch.
Great, great. Okay. Susan, my friend says she has midlife issues, including weight gain, no libido. Is there anything you can recommend for her?
That's a great question. I mean, the patches are going to address, it sounds like you just need like a tune-up, right? Just kind of like an overhaul. So X39 is great. Don't be shy. If you need to place two to kind of get things jump started, you can do that as long as it's in the 12-hour window. You can put one on the back of the neck, one beneath the navel. Also, Nirvana is something that I'm realizing is really powerful. In addition to the oral supplement, when you consume that, wow, fly almost got me. There is a very powerful combination of stimulants that help the anterior pituitary produce endorphins and helps to stimulate healthy hormone production and things like that. So oftentimes, especially with our ladies, if you're in your 50s, 60s, you may be slowing down. You can stimulate some of those sexual hormones and kind of increase your libido, kind of increase some of the things that may be slowing down. So those would be two that I would really look into. And glutathione is just so powerful in helping our immune system to function properly. And so that could be the culprit too. Maybe some thyroid stuff, maybe some adrenal stuff could also give you a pep in your step, and glutathione is helpful with that.
A pep in your step. I'm loving that. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Jennifer, a friend of mine is one step away from getting dialysis and wonders if there's any potential risk in starting X39 at this vulnerable point in her journey. And is there anything else you might want to consider?
So I've got another cool story. A friend of a friend down in Florida was actively getting dialysis and was asking me very similar questions. And I said, there's one way to find out. And so I got her a sleeve of patches. And what she explained to me was that she was not urinating at all. And now she's urinating 5-6 times a day. And that was about a 3 to 4 month process. She is still being dialyzed, but it has reduced in frequency. And so, labs are basically saying that her kidneys are able to recover or have been recovering. And they're very finicky, guys. Kidneys are, one of the organs that, they can go down or up very quickly depending upon what you do. So I wouldn't be concerned about the X39 making anything worse. I would expect for there to be some improvement. Hopefully it helps to prevent, the initiation of dialysis. I mean, we can't say that for sure, but I've seen some really powerful things happen with the kidneys and how they function when you're consistent with X39.
That's so beautiful. And I heard a similar but different story. It's like when you think about stem cells regenerating damaged cells. So if the kidney isn't fully functioning, there's some damaged cells and they could get better. And as you said, the kidney was functioning to the point that she was urinating. I heard a story several years ago about someone who was on dialysis 3 times a week using X39. And his nephrologist said, I've never done this before, but I'm taking you from 3 times a week down to once a week. And So the miracle of the body. The body is doing the healing. I love it. Okay, PJ, if your glutathione levels are testing good, is there an advantage to wearing the glutathione patch? Good question.
Absolutely. You know, it consistently declines as we age, right? So even if they're in normal range, it still is a significant benefit from having more. They are the garbage man of the cell. They're a master antioxidant. They are involved in so many different processes. So you really want to have your glutathione levels as high as possible. There's really no negative to having more than you need.
That's great, especially we're living in such a toxic world. But there's 100,000 chemicals in the air, so our bodies continually need to be detoxing. And David actually did a great talk on that you can find in our Lifewave liveyoungersuccess.com under the David videos, I believe. Okay, Gail, for those not having great blood flow in hands and feet, would Ice Wave and or energy enhancers be good on the bottom of the feet, middle of the ball of the foot, like on kidney 1? What would you recommend for increased circulation in the extremities?
In the extremities. Well, so personally, I love putting my energy enhancer right here, pericardium 6. That gives me the most energy and the most noticeable change when I wear them. My second favorite location is kidney 1 on the bottom of the feet. I like that one specifically because you don't have to worry about the patches falling off here. You're washing your hands, you're sweating, all of these different things. So if I'm sitting down typing or if I'm in a calm environment, then I wear it here. If I'm going to be out and about and running around, then I put them on the bottom of my feet. But both of those are really great places to generate that circulation and just get, like you say, just energized. I mean, it's really a very calm, but very intense focus.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And Gail's wanting to know, personally, I'm having bone health challenges. Is it okay to wear one X39 and two X49s each day for 12 hours on and off?
Yes, that's totally fine. So guys, here's the thing. The beautiful part about the patches and the way that the light therapy is generated is that the liquid nanocrystal blend inside each patch is unique to that patch, right? So it's stimulating your body with a particular frequency of near infrared light that's different than any other patch. And so I think, honestly, I feel like 3 is overdoing it, but 2 is definitely just giving you a lot more of the dose. And as long as you're within your window of time, you're in good shape. You can wear, I don't go overboard, but you could wear multiple of the same patch or multiple of different patches. And so Mr. Schmidt talks about wearing 2 sets of energy, wearing 2 sets of X39, so there's a lot of different ways by which you can patch. And in general, there's no right or wrong. As long as you're not overdoing it or extending the time period, you should be in good shape.
I really hope everyone heard that. There's no right or wrong. You can't hurt yourself. And I know Dr. Nicholas used to say to me, trust your instincts. If you're getting, an instinct to wear it in a different kind of place, try it and see what you like. Everybody's different and you can't hurt yourself. Wonderful. Okay, let's see. Glenn says, Dr. Jeff, I have one ankle that's stiff, hurts a little at times, but I have stiffness rotating in all directions. What recommendations do you have?
So I really love the combination of Eon and glutathione for joint issues, decrease in range of motion, pain, discomfort, what we call crepitus, where it's cracking and crippling. And you can put that on kidney 3, which is right on the back of the inside of the ankle. That's a really great place. Or if there's a particular place that is uncomfortable, then I would place it there. But that combination is a really, really powerful anti-inflammatory combo that really helps. And I've noticed that with anyone who I suggest that to, they usually come back and say, wow, that really did the trick. And so also what you can do is rotate. I also like day and nighttime regimens. So that way you're getting the light therapy throughout the day, but you're not getting the same frequency. Remember that. So you can do glutathione and eon during the day, and then X39 at night on the same ankle. And during the day, you're minimizing the inflammation. At night, you're rebuilding and repairing.
Beautiful, beautiful. And sometimes switch them up, you know? Although we like to have glutathione during the day, so when your body's cleansing, the lymphatics are moving. But yeah, okay, let's see here. Anonymous, hello, Anonymous. How do X39 and 49 and carnosine work to impact blood flow, blood vessel health, heart muscle health, and the nervous system's role in the cardiovascular health, please?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. There's a synergy between all of those patches, but let's just talk about them independently. So first of all, carnosine is also an antioxidant. So it's working inside the cell to make sure that the cell is functioning appropriately. So there's all of these complex processes that are happening inside the cell. So glutathione and carnosine are really great in making sure that those processes are happening the way they're supposed to happen, because obviously as we age, diet, environment, toxins, so on and so forth, they throw off the natural rhythm of the cell, and it creates these challenges and changes in our body. So carnosine is great at doing that. It also helps to glycosylate glucose. So that's a really powerful benefit to carnosine. It's helpful in peripheral nerve health and also cardiovascular health. So carnosine and X39 have a really powerful combo there, because X49, although we don't have all the clinical studies and things, what is being discussed is that it is very helpful in our physical life, so our workouts and, anything dealing with muscle health, bone density, losing stubborn fat and burning fat. So that's really helpful in the cardiovascular system as well, because, the heart is a muscle in itself. That cardiac muscle is different than our skeletal muscle. It's pumping every day, all day. You don't ever want that guy to get too tired and get pooped. So you always got to be feeding that cardio muscle, which is slightly different. And apparently that's what X49 is really good at doing. It helps to increase our stamina and our cardiovascular fitness. And then X39 is also really powerful because it's a great benefit of the circulatory system. So it works a little bit more, not on the heart itself, but on the blood vessels and how they're able to transport the blood to and from. So it helps to reduce plaque buildup and things like that. And that's what subsequently improves the blood pressure and things like that. So those three together are a really powerful way to either become healthier and more active in regards to your workouts, or to help to recover and repair from previous cardiovascular damage.
Sounds like a marriage made in heaven. Great combo. Yeah. Okay. Barbara, this season with all the pollens, et cetera, clients having trouble with congestion that goes along with that. Do you have any recommendations for the seasonal pollens and reactions to that?
I do. So there's this really cool phenomenon in acupuncture. Now, granted, I'm not an acupuncturist by any stretch of the imagination, but I have been studying these key acupuncture locations that are used with Lifewave products, and that has opened my eyes to so many other elements. But there's this triangular position, and there's synergy when you stimulate certain acupuncture locations that form a triangle. So here, right on either side of the nose, kind of in these divots of your cheek, there's stomach 2, and you can take Ice Wave, tan on the left, white on the right, or Energy, tan on the left, white on the right, and put right there on either side of the nose. And then here on the third eye, this is governing vessel 24.5. You can do glutathione. You can do that glutathione eon combination. You can do X39. All of those are really great here. And then that forms that triangle. And I've heard amazing things, all sorts of things in regards to congestion, sinus pressure, runny nose, watery eyes, all of those sorts of things can be really impacted by putting that ice wave and the glutathione for sure. But you can try those other elements as well because they also have benefits too.
That's good to know. Sometimes you might not have the exact patch. Use a different one and it'll probably work, won't it?
Mm.
It's so amazing how they're very versatile, these patches. Okay, we got time for a few quick more.
Yes.
Okay, Rebecca wants to know what patches would help with hearing loss from a 20-year career with loud equipment.
So the best and most effective thing that I've been able to understand about the ears is just patching behind there. So we kind of talked about that earlier in the show, that if you put X39 on that mastoid process, or if you know that there's some sort of infection or inflammatory issue in the ear, then you could do glutathione and Eon. But what I've really seen the most success with is just patching with X39 behind the ear. And so, it sounds like there's just been a lot of loud noise, and that tends to damage the ear and the hearing process. And so just need to get those stem cells in there, and hopefully they can rebuild the tissue so that you can hear more appropriately.
Great. Now this next person is asking about all the patches. And so instead of us going through each patch, we're not going to do that tonight, but you can go to liveyoungersuccess.com and then go to the library. And in the library, there's David Schmidt explaining the patches. The top right video in 24 minutes, he talks about the technology and each one of the patches, including X39. So for those of you that want to hear it straight from David, it's about 24 minutes, the whole thing about the technology and each of the patches. So I'm going to send you there. And Veronica wants to know Dr. Jeff's email address. It is in the chat, drjbhubbardmd@gmail.com. Okay, we got two more here, I think. Oh, there's a whole bunch more, but we're going to take two more because if you want your questions asked on the call, please put them in there early because we're already past the bottom of the hour. Do stem cells help with tremors?
You know what? I would think that stem cells would have some benefit to any sort of muscle spasm or tremor or what have you. But what I have heard is most effective is glutathione.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was taught a long time ago, if someone has a tremor, put a glutathione in their hand. And if you notice a change, it means that they're toxic, and the glutathione will be really helpful. Dr. Nicholas taught me that one.
Dr. Nicholas is a smart man.
Well, he's quite experienced. He's been doing this, 14 years and through thousands of patients. So he's got a lot of experience. Okay, Barbara's asking, could the patches be used on children? Can they help those who are intellectually or physically challenged?
Yes, short answer is yes. Glutathione, again, is your choice. There's actually an entire Facebook group of Lifewave enthusiasts who have children with specific deficits that they're working with the patches to improve. So that's a short answer, yes. And so I personally don't have much experience, but I have heard that glutathione is great and X39 is great.
Beautiful. And the only thing that David suggests is that the child can verbally express themselves, because the patches are very powerful and it may be too much. So we want to be able to, have them take the patch off if it's experiencing too much. Okay, right. One more. Janet, high glucose levels started in childhood. Is there a patch or patches that can decrease insulin injections?
Yes. So couple of things. Glutathione is clinically proven to improve insulin resistance, right? So insulin is the hormone that is responsible for moving, transporting glucose from the bloodstream inside the cell. Okay, it's produced by our pancreas. There's these receptors on every cell that insulin plugs into. Insulin resistance means that insulin is not plugging into that receptor and thus not being able to transport glucose from the bloodstream into the cell. So glutathione is great because it makes sure that that insulin plugs into that receptor more effectively. Carnosine is also a great choice. We talked about that a little bit because it helps to glycosylate, which is to metabolize the glucose. So it also is going to help to regulate the way in which glucose is processed. So those are two great things. And then you can use X39 as well to kind of help to motivate the pancreas to produce more insulin and the other hormones that it's responsible for handling in order to balance the way your glucose is metabolized.
Beautiful, beautiful. And this must be the glutathione call, huh?
It seems like it.
You know, they're all so wonderful, and you could do a call on each one of the patches, but X39 is the star of the show, and it's so comprehensive. It does so many things. And that's why, how long do you recommend people use X39 if they're in fairly good health before introducing any of the other patches, Dr. Jeff?
That's a great question. I mean, you know, I guess it all depends. If you're healthy, just wear it. Just wear it until you start to notice a difference and you start to recognize what it's going to do for you. And then typically when you have processed that these things are real and that your body's responding and all the things we say are valid and you can experience that for yourself, then you can start to institute a little bit of a patching protocol, as we call it, you know, so that you can start to see some of the other benefits as well.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, Dr. Jeff, this has been amazing. And I'd love you to share a little bit, how you work with people on telephone consults, or can people come in and see you? You're in Dallas. How is it that you work with people and what do they need to know? We've got your email in the chat, drjbhubbardmd@gmail.com. So what else would you like to say about your work?
Well, I would just encourage everyone to send me an email. Let's talk. Let's kind of understand exactly what you're hoping to accomplish. Really, what I do in the one-on-one consultations is just be a listener. And so I want to just be able to take in what it is that you want to accomplish, what you're doing, what's not working, what should be working, whatever your concerns are. And then we just kind of walk hand in hand. I kind of guide you based upon the experiences that I've had both personally and professionally with this awesome technology. And we kind of create a blueprint for what you need to do to be successful. And so, you know, I send you a really cool consultation review. So it's a personalized video that goes over everything we discussed in the consultation. That way you can review that at your leisure and go back to the things that we talked about if there's ever any question or concern about what you should be doing. And so I am offering a special for the first 10 people who contact me via email and want to set up a one-on-one consultation. I'm going to give you guys a 20% discount.
Great. All right. Well, everyone's busy at it right now. Yes, this is really wonderful. So you need to reach out to Dr. Jeff with your email. Do you happen to know the name of that Facebook group that's dealing with special needs kids?
I don't know the name of the Facebook group, but the lady's name is Bern, B-E-R-N, and it's Oleen is her last name, O-L-E-A-N, if I'm not mistaken. So perhaps you can search her in the, you know, just in a general search box in Facebook, and then reach out to her directly and say, hey, Dr. Jeff said that you've got a cool group where you discuss all things Lifewave and kids and how to improve them in all the ways.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jeff. Always a pleasure to have you and watch your hair grow. I love it. We're hearing amazing stories of hair growth.
Indeed. So excited as always to share space and excited about all the things to come. Looking forward to it. And thanks so much for all that you guys do. Greg, welcome back to the stateside, brother. Glad you're out there doing good stuff and made it back safely and all that good stuff. You guys are touching so many lives. So I'm always excited to join.
Well, thank you so much. And thank you everyone else for joining us this evening. And if you're here as a guest tonight, thrilled to have you. Please get back to the person who invited you. And we just invite you to get started. We have a wonderful customer program. If you're doing this for yourself, if you like to share and you can't not share, you want to become a distributor or member, and reach out, and there's a wonderful compensation that goes along with sharing. So I want to thank everyone for taking the time this evening, and have a good night and happy spring, happy Passover, happy Easter.
All that good stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff. Okay.
See you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.